Hello, this is a short screencast just to bring everybody in both sections up to date on where we are. Some of you were able to make the live review sessions, many of you were not. Um, and I did share, I'll show you where I shared the live recording from one of the sessions that actually had a number of people in it. Um, but some of that information is going to be also shared here. So I just wanted to do a quick overview of the exam. I think you all as students have access to data about the exam, class average, and all of that. It was 83 to 86% class average, depending on which class you're in. So good job there. 43 to 45 minutes per question, per average exam time. So on average, people came in well under the 60 minutes. That is good. I didn't get a lot of questions about the exams, like confusing questions and whatnot, except for this one, which pertained to this graph right here. And not everybody got this question because not everybody gets all the same questions. Um, so it's a true false question, and it said something to the extent that um, as blood passes through capillaries into venules, the blood pressure remains relatively constant. I wanted you to say false because I was thinking of this big drop here. But what I said was capillaries into venules, and there's not a big drop there. So Canvas will tell me who got this question wrong. Canvas did tell me. And then what I did is went back in and gave everybody that one right because it was an unfair question as written. All of the other questions, judging by how the grading worked, how many people got them right versus how many people got them wrong, were not poorly written or super confusing. So there's just that. Um, so you can always email me separately if you have questions about what was on the exam, why something was wrong, that sort of thing. I'm still open to answering email questions. I did want to point out two things about the digestive system for those of you that haven't gone over it yet. So I'm currently assuming I'm not going to put open-ended questions on the next lecture exam. So what I have done is, or what I will do, is write multiple choice questions about some of the topics that used to be essay questions. And I just want to make you aware of some of the more important ones. Like for your digestive system, it's this learning objective here where you are supposed to be able to describe what happens when food enters the duodenum and how that leads to the production of more bile, pancreatic juice, and blah, 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 blah. Big complicated thing. The other source of open-ended questions is down here at the end, just not that far below it. For each macromolecule, be able to describe how it is digested. That is now going to be broken up into individual questions about the digestive process for each macronutrient. So just to show you briefly where that is, whoops, sorry, I just want this, in the PowerPoint. So if you haven't gone through the screencast yet, you will get to a screencast or a portion of the screencast after you go through the small intestine that talks about the events that take place when food shows up in the small intestine. So for those of you that haven't read this yet, right, this right here is called your duodenum. This is the first loop of the small intestine. So here's your stomach, small intestine. A lot has to happen to get the small intestine ready for this food. So what has to happen when food hits the duodenum is that you need pancreatic juice, pancreatic enzymes. Um, those are produced by two different cell populations in the pancreas, so they're regulated separately. You need to stimulate the gallbladder to contract and squirt some bile into the duodenum, and then you need to tell the liver that it is time to start producing more bile. On this next page here, it goes over the two mechanisms that together make those four things happen. It is the release of some bile prior to food entering the chyme, prior to eating. So this happens first, and then later, when the food shows up in the duodenum is going to release CCK and secretin. Two hormones, we call them like paracrine hormones, because they don't have to enter the bloodstream, they just float around in the peritoneal cavity. Then I spent a lot of time making this diagram with different colored and shaped things that are meant to represent the different hormones. And then this just goes over how the bile that was released earlier and the secretin and cholecystokinin CCK that get released by the duodenum go on to cause the secretion and the production of the enzymes and the juice and the bile that you need. So it's basically questions about these four things here that you want to know, and looking at this page, knowing where does CCK and secretin come from, where does the bile come from, where are we, vagus nerve stimulates the gallbladder to release that bile. So a couple of questions about this content, and then four possible questions about this content. Then at the end, there are just a handful of slides, like here, 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 and here, that contain a lot of possible questions. I won't be able to ask all of the possible questions because then it would be a very long exam. But so it used to be for an essay question, you would want to be able to address all of those items in essay format. Now it's just for any given macronutrient, whether we're talking about carbohydrates or proteins, be able to say what is happening to that macronutrient in the mouth. So for example, there's salivary amylase. So carbs begin enzymatic digestion in the mouth. There are no proteins that digest, there are no enzymes that digest proteins in the mouth. So proteins just get chewed. So be able to answer these more narrow questions about what digestive processes are affecting a given macronutrient in the three different parts, mouth, stomach, and small intestine. And then those end products of digestion, whether they're sugars or digested lipids or nucleic acids, do they end up in the blood or the lymph? So that's that. Just be aware of that. I will be working today and throughout the weekend, because I let myself get behind, holy cow, to get urinary system up for next week. But this, if you haven't done it yet, you should do it maybe over the weekend so that you have time to dedicate to the urinary system. That then brings us to where we are in the class. So I have made kind of a couple of changes to the way Canvas looks, and I have made some final updates to the calendar. So everything should be on the calendar now. No new surprises. The only thing that hasn't been put on the calendar, I should say, is the final exam. So if you just look at the calendar, up here is today. Today the worksheets are due for the blood vessel lab and the quizzes. Next week it'll be respiratory system, blood vessel lab, and quizzes. Remember, the lab homework you can submit anytime. The quizzes have to be submitted within a certain window, and I keep on making it bigger because we have people with work conflicts. I thought putting it on Friday would give people more time to get it done, but then giving people a window has made things difficult. But I'm going to keep it here and make adjustments for people that have work conflicts so that the schedule is not changing. It is now set. Lab work is always due Friday. Homework submitted, quiz taken. So you'll notice I have also added a couple of live review sessions. Students have said they've enjoyed the live review sessions. We're going to do one a week per class with the topic to get us started, but you can ask any question that you want to. So the Digestive System Physio EX is due next week. I have made them due during lecture time. This is when people should be available, or most of us should be available. And so it's due by 9. Ooh, sorry, that should not be green. Why? Well, that should not be blue. I don't know what's going on there. Doesn't matter. But this just makes me so mad. I'll fix it. The Tuesday, Thursday class should have a live review session on Tuesday when their Physio EX is due, and the Thursday, Friday section will have a review session when theirs is due. Yeah, and the same thing here. All of this blue, I don't know why it showed up blue. I can change that. I'll figure out how. So just notice that we've got review sessions next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, to go over the Physio EX, which I'm adding some explanation to on the assignment page so it makes a little bit more sense, but we'll make sure everybody understands what they're supposed to understand there. I've added a quiz for the following week. That is not available to you yet. There will be a relatively narrow window for that, but it will be during class time. And I'll give a description of the quiz before you get there. We have the menstrual activity. That I believe I need to post the file for you all because it was originally going to be we do it in class, but now I need to distribute the file. So those are both due 9 a.m., 1 p.m. This is during class time. And then we'll meet 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. to discuss our answers to that and whatever else we want to know. Then the following week, I put review sessions on Monday for the Monday class, Tuesday for the Tuesday class. These are not up in Teams yet, but they will be. When you click on this, it won't do anything for you. I can't get Teams to put the link there, so you'll have to find the link through Teams. But those are 2 more review sessions, and then we'll keep the exam when it is. And I have pushed back then the lab exam till the end of the week. And, we'll keep it during lab time. I think I need to adjust the times on that, but it'll be Wednesday for the Monday, Wednesday class, Thursday for the Tuesday, Thursday class. And I will add, I didn't put it in here, I'll add a live review session on these 2 days so we can talk about the acid-base Physio EX and I can field questions for the lab exam. So that will be populated with sort of the normal time. It'll be a 1 p.m. review here and a 9 a.m. review here. So the calendar is like 90% set. I will let you know when I figure out what we're doing with the final exam. The other changes I just wanted to show you, both sections of the class in Canvas should look pretty much the same. The plan, I'm sure you've seen before. I haven't really added a lot to that. I was ambitious and thought I would put all of the president's updates in this random announcements thing, but I ran out of time. The exams are going to show up here, and I think that's where the quiz should show up, but it's not there. We'll see. So that is a new module just so that people can find the exams and quizzes. But I think I actually put the quiz that's due down in the module because it belongs with the digestive system. I don't see it. I have to put it somewhere. Damn it. So many little clicks and bits to remember. You create it and you tell it what grading category it goes in, but then you still have to put it in a module. So sorry, exams are there. I created a module for live sessions. Some of the sessions are going to be, related to a particular topic, but some of them are going to be more general. And I think it'll be easier to find just the live sessions there. So these have the links to or the embedded recording of the live sessions that we've done thus far. So that's the live session that we did before. Then most of you, I think, have already noticed that we've got lab pages, and you'll see here, here's a blood vessel lab key. It's not available yet. It'll be available to you Saturday. So you have to know it yourself and learn it yourself to get through the quiz. But then on Saturday, I'll post, or this will become available to you. And it's just like the PowerPoints I sent out, but with all the answers on it. And I'll put one up for the respiratory system and all the other labs. I think that's it for now. But remember that the calendar is up to date, and especially up to date with seeing myself on the screen is such a weird thing. Definitely up to date with all of your graded assignments. So I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's staying safe and trying to feel as normal as possible. Thanks for sticking with me this far. See you later.